Hey, thank you for watching. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
People are calling you a hero.
The lieutenant governor is here, and she's requested you.
Ought to be right there.
You left the OR before the surgery was finished? She should have been your priority.
He pushed tax loopholes benefiting himself. Send him back, and he'll make things worse. Ron Johnson would let Wisconsin ban abortion, even in cases of rape, and said if you don't like it, you can move. He voted to raise the retirement age and wants to end guaranteed spending on the Social Security you earned.
Social Security is a legal Ponzi scheme, but that's exactly what it is.
Ron Johnson, still making it harder on us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Tribute Brewing, Airport Road to Bluebird Road, Eagle River.
Straight ahead, an effort to increase voting on reservations. We'll learn how one group is looking to boost Native American turnout.
Plus, encouraging news about COVID-19. We'll take a look at the latest case counts in Wisconsin.
And we're now less than a week away from the midterm election. We'll tell you what you need to know as you cast your ballot. As your local news starts right now.
News Watch 12 with Dan Hagan, Jessica Jukic, and Conrad Sapinski.
Good evening and welcome to News Watch 12 at 6. I'm Jessica Jukic.
And I'm Dan Hagan. Native Americans have a lower voting rate than other racial groups, according to the National Congress on American Indians.
One group in Wisconsin is trying to change that. Wisconsin Native Vote provides Native people voter education and access. Dee Sweet leads the group. She's a member of the White Earth Ojibwe Band. Sweet says Native people have a history of disappointment and frustration with the federal government, plus there was sometimes outright disenfranchisement. Sweet said attitude towards voting has been shifting recently.
That history of not participating in the electoral process is changing. And as a matter of fact, in the state of Wisconsin, many of the tribal communities here in our state have shown a tremendous increase in turnout.
From 2018 to 2020, every tribe had an increase in turnout, including 18% in Mole Lake and 28% in Red Cliff. Sweet and others with Wisconsin Native Vote have been knocking on doors and sending out voting information this election season. She says the Native people she's talked to are excited to vote.
We're going out there and having conversation, and really, I'm quite amazed how enthusiastic people are about voting on Tuesday.
Sweet said many Indigenous people vote with their future seventh generation in mind. That's making sure their descendants have access to quality air, water, and nature.
Well, Conrad, I got out of my apartment and it did not feel like fall today whatsoever.
Yes, it's November 2nd. Feels like August 2nd.
Sure, yeah.
Exactly, right? But yes, very warm temperatures in the area all across the last several days. We've had 60s, 70s outside, a whole 180 of what we're supposed to have this time of year. But we're not the only ones in this treat with the temperatures. All the way up to Canada, there's lots of 60s and 70s, but big changes are on the way. For now, enjoy it while it lasts. Lots of yellows and oranges up there. 46 is our average high for this time of year. A record high in 1933 came in at 74 degrees. Did we reach that? That's the big question. No, we did not, but we were very, very close, 2 degrees away from reaching a record high temperature for November 2nd. So we were very close. You get the memo of exactly what's going on. Warm temperatures are sticking around, pretty much record highs all across as mostly sunny skies continue in the area, and that's really warming things up from the 50s into the 60s and 70s. But tonight, though, the sun is setting and temperatures will cool off into the lower 50s. Jessica?
Thank you, Conrad. Wisconsin COVID-19 cases are dropping to the lowest level in more than 6 months. Over the last 7 days, the State Department of Health Services reported 827 confirmed cases per day. That's the lowest case number since April. Last week, 7 deaths were reported in the state. Since the pandemic started, Wisconsin reported 1.67 million confirmed cases and more than 13,000 deaths. More than 65% of residents have received one COVID-19 vaccine, and nearly 62% have completed the vaccination series.
Today, 3 women disrupted Supreme Court oral arguments on the scope of the Bank Secrecy Act. The women stood up from their seats one at a time and voiced their opposition to this summer's decision overturning Roe v. Wade. Let's take a listen. In case you didn't hear, the women said, "We will restore our right to choose. Women of America vote." None of the justices responded or acknowledged the protesters. According to a Supreme Court spokesperson, the 3 were taken away from the courtroom by security. They were arrested and charged.
A federal judge in Phoenix, Arizona, issued a restraining order Tuesday against a group accused of possible voter intimidation at ballot drop boxes. Some of the intimidation methods used by the group, Clean Elections USA, included carrying weapons and wearing tactical gear, as seen here in these photos from a ballot drop box in Mesa. The order prohibits the group from openly carrying weapons or visibly wearing body armor within 250 feet of drop boxes. It also bars members from taking photos, recording, following, or yelling at voters within 75 feet of drop box locations. The midterm election is now less than 1 week away.
While many have voted absentee already, there are many more who are waiting until Tuesday. Rhinelander City Clerk Austin Zarda believes Tuesday's election will be very busy. He's encouraging people to get out and vote beforehand.
I definitely recommend folks come early vote here at Rhinelander City Hall. We have open voting open till Thursday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and then Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Zarda says this election is shaping up to be one of the highest turnouts in recent memory.
We've had great turnout so far, both for early voting and absentee ballots that have been returned already. So I'm definitely expecting a very high turnout. Tons of people are engaged. We're having tons of new voter registration, young voters, new folks in the area that are coming to cast their ballot.
If you'd like to vote early and live in a smaller town than Rhinelander, reach out to your local clerk. For more information on the upcoming election, go to myvote.wi.gov. The Federal Reserve announced its toughest policy move since the 1980s, another interest rate hike, the 4th in a row, in an effort to cool down inflation.
This move is weighing down the stock market, spiking mortgage rates, and fueling recession fears. Mike Valerio has the latest.
Amid a rebound in the economy, a hot labor market, and mortgage rates topping 7% for the first time since 2002, the Federal Reserve announcing a historic interest rate hike today, pushing up the cost of borrowing even further.
My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation.
The decision of a 4th consecutive hike of 0.75 percentage point is intended to keep the economy from overheating or cooling too dramatically and to tame inflation.
They'll raise the rate another 0.25 point, and then I think they'll stop and pause, take a look around, because they know that it takes a while for all these interest rate hikes to affect the economy and to slow inflation.
The interest rate hike will likely deepen the economic pain for millions of Americans at the same time as the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate is topping 7%.
Housing's going to struggle here over the next 12, 18 months, and I do expect some meaningful price declines.
A silver lining in the midst of all of this, the job market that remains tight. But for the consumer, the advice is to hold on.
If you are not able to bring your wages up, then you need to consume, because basically your purchasing power is going down the line.
With darkness coming sooner this time of year, many are on the shore of Lake Superior looking for a special kind of rock.
Coming up after the break, we'll learn more about Uper lights. That's after weather with Conrad right here on Newswatch 12.
Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Bone and Joint Walk-In Care.
You've heard what women say about working at Tim Michael's company, that they were groped.
A male superior groped the crotch and inner thigh of a female employee.
and pressured to have sex with their bosses. And now we know more. According to an attorney involved in the case, when the only woman on a Michaels Road crew was sexually harassed on the job, the company did not take it seriously. From the top down. From the top down. If that's how Tim Michaels runs his company, how do you think he'd run the state?
I was in law enforcement for over 40 years, and I can't imagine a better attorney general than Josh Call. He's a real prosecutor who's locked up murderers, serial rapists, the really dangerous guys you want off the street, and kept them behind bars. And he'll work with anyone, Republican or Democrat, to get it done. Look, there's more we have to do, but the only one I'd want leading the fight against crime is our Attorney General, Josh Call.
ELM Repair in Edgar is a family-owned and operated full-service diesel repair shop. From pickups to semi-trucks to heavy equipment and RV service. If it runs on diesel, we can repair it. Want more power and better mileage? Our experienced professionals will get your truck running and at peak performance. With a state-of-the-art dyno and fully stocked parts department, we can even come out to you with our 24-hour mobile repair service. ELM is always looking for passionate and talented people to join our team. The Diesel Doctor. Have it done right the first time at ELM Repair.
Under Tony Evers and Joe Biden, it's been bad, but it's gonna get much worse because winter is coming. That's right. Reports are saying natural gas heating bills are going up by 28%. Inflation has already caused pain at the pump, grocery checkouts, on rent. But this fall, there's still time to stop the winter pain by voting no on Tony Evers before he makes it even worse, if that's possible.
It's Wednesday, and once again, we have some water skiing weather outside, but just down south, a whole different story. There's lots of drought in the areas. There's actually a lake that was connected to the Mississippi River, and that's where water skiing was invented. Now it's starting to dry up slowly as that Mississippi River is at a record low right now, close to 11 feet below average levels. But same thing in Wisconsin, just not as severe, as we do have a little bit of a drought in the Northwoods, but more rain will be on the way. Right now, it doesn't look like it. We do have lots of clear skies across the state, lots of sunshine earlier today. Same thing, couple of days before that. And the whole country is in some clear weather, besides a little pocket of rain just down south close to Virginia, but all that is very light and not where we want it to be, in those drought areas. But more changes are on the way, folks. Don't you worry. More rain will start to arrive by the morning hours on Friday, then really picking up in intensity throughout the day on Friday, and then lasting through the day on Saturday. So have those umbrellas handy, because a lot of rain is on the way. Close to 2 inches of rain in the Northwoods before we finally start to clear up by the morning hours on Sunday. And then by Monday, we are in the clear as well. Temperatures, though, let's get into that. It is gorgeous outside. We had 72 degrees as a high temperature today, and 70s all the way up to Canada. Yes, Canada, that's right. 60s and 70s reached all the way up north. Those were record-breaking temperatures. Not quite here in Wisconsin, as temperatures are slowly starting to cool off right now. The sun has set, and we're back into those low to mid-60s. But still, we'll take that any day. For 2nd of November, this is a pretty hot. Our average closer to 46 degrees. So take a look at this temperature trend for tomorrow. 66, and then we start to cool off slightly into those low to mid-50s. And then by Monday into Tuesday, a couple of 40s showing up there, but a nice little rebound of temperatures by Tuesday into Wednesday. Some low to mid-50s, still above our average. Winds are a little bit on the breezy end right now, as they mostly are blowing from the south and really bringing in all of that heat from the southern states, as we do have a 9-mile-per-hour wind here in Rhinelander. Gusts close to 20, but most of this will continue to die off overnight. Partly cloudy skies, though, and temperatures well above average, hovering close to 50 degrees. Our average closer to 27 for our overnight lows, and our 7-day outlook, brought to you by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress, does show a really nice looking day tomorrow. Then more chances of showers Friday into Saturday. We clear up by Sunday into Monday with cooler weather sticking around into next week. Jessica?
Thank you, Conrad. The Rhinelander Police Department K-9 unit is accepting donations for a new patrol vehicle. The vehicle has to be designed to carry a police officer, K-9 officer, and a citizen. They're collecting money for the new vehicle because the K-9 unit is funded through community donations, which is separate from the police department's budget. Rhinelander PD has the only 2 K-9 officers in Oneida County. They're called on to assist other agencies in the search for missing people, find evidence, and apprehend criminals. Monetary donations are being accepted at the Rhinelander Police Department. While the days continue to get shorter, the season for finding a specialty rock is in its final weeks.
Euperlites, as they're called, have been picked up along the shorelines of the Great Lakes for years. Rock enthusiasts who collect them are called hounders, and Newswatch 12's Matt Weaver joined one of those hounders on a search and is live in the studio with more. Matt?
Well, Dan, ranging from the Wisconsin-Illinois border on Lake Superior to the shores of on the shores of Lake Michigan to the shores of Superior near Duluth, these glowing minerals come from an Ontario glacier.
All of a sudden, something big and orange lights up.
In a sea of darkness, these rocks shine bright.
If you get there first, you're getting all the good pickings.
A recent stretch of warmer weather means more time to find euperlites. But hounder John Medved prefers its scientific name.
Here's an example of cyanitic granite with fluorescent sodalite. It's viewable with a UV light like these, and without it, they just look like a normal rock. But when you shine them with ultraviolet light, then they fluoresce really beautiful.
Since hounding became a viral sensation a few years ago, these nocturnal nuggets are becoming harder to uncover.
You're able to scan the most rocks in a short amount of time, and so you have the best chance of finding them.
But give it enough time and you'll see the shine, most notably in Brimley, Michigan.
If people really want to take a trip and go look for them, that's where I go, but they can be found anywhere, and it's just a matter of putting on the miles and walking and looking.
Medved says paying a little extra for proper equipment makes a big difference.
When the light hits them, especially the good lights, sometimes you can see them from 15, 20 feet away just sitting there as bright as can be. It's exciting. It gets a little adrenaline going, just like all rock hounding does for me.
Hounders come for the glow, but Medved isn't budging.
Ever since I was a kid, man, I just always loved the permanence of them. You know, just this hard thing created by Earth that's just been sitting there for millions of years. And if you're the one who finds it and brings it home, it's just an exciting feeling.
Medved says that with the warmer stretch of weather, the season could be extended until late December. Dan?
Thanks, Matt. Coming up after the break, Saul Meyer will join us to break down Green Bay's lack of trades this week.
Plus, we'll have a look at some of the top high school athletes in 8-man football. We'll be right back.
Did you know Masterforce has thousands of tools at Menards? Any tool you want, we have. There are hammers, drills, pliers, levels, wrenches, grinders, sanders, compressors, nailers, workbenches, mowers, blowers, chainsaws, floor jacks, knee pads, work lights, fans. And that's just a taste. Come check out the wide range of products from Masterforce, exclusively at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Shifty Katrina Shankland. Up here, Shankland says what we want to hear, but down in Madison, voted against the largest tax cut in state history for seniors, families, and small businesses. Voted against funding for local roads and schools. Why? Because for $200,000 from party bosses in Madison, Shifty Shankland works for them, not us. Portage County Scott Soik, a business owner, Marine, and political outsider who puts us first, not Madison politicians. Scott Soik for Assembly.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of a journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and claim one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs on their way. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
My thoughts on laser therapy to me is awesome. I mean, it really, really made a big difference. Every time I came here, I noticed an improvement. I mean, I was starting to do things that I couldn't do a week before, and so I'm totally grateful for it. Integrated Pain Solutions got me back to my normal trucking and equipment handling life. Thank you.
Tim Michaels wants to scare you with lies. Here's the truth. Independent fact-checkers gave Michaels' parole attacks a pants-on-fire rating, saying they were false and that the governor does not allow any release of criminals. That's a fact. And here's another fact. Tony Evers actually increased police funding, and he's working to invest in high-crime areas, in job training, after-school programs, and mental health. So when you see all these, do this.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Northwoods Furniture, Eagle River.
When I first stood up here and talked about the Hodag being nominated for the best mascot in America a few weeks ago, it was down by a couple hundred votes. Well, the voting ended yesterday, and we finally have a winner. The Rhinelander Hodag from Rhinelander was voted Scorebooks Live's best mascot in America by securing a whopping 183,500 votes. To put that into perspective, the second place finisher, the Shelley Resets, finished with 72,500 votes, which was a little bit over 100,000 votes short of the Hodag. So congrats to Rhinelander. 8-Man football released their Player of the Year award finalists with only a few games left in the playoffs, and we have a few guys from our area that made the list. First, the Offensive Player of the Year finalists include Carter Janish from Leona Wabeno and Connor Kroc from Newman Catholic. Janish leads the team in both passing and rushing yards with a combined 2,352 all-purpose yards and 45 touchdowns. Kroc basically played 2 quarters a game for the Cardinals because they were always up 50 at half, but was still able to rack up 2,134 yards and 35 touchdowns. And Hunter Cronauer from Leona Wabeno was nominated for Defensive Player of the Year after recording 154 tackles, 17 sacks, and 6 forced fumbles. Now moving on from football teams that have been winning a lot to the team that has been losing a lot. The Green Bay Packers. In the midst of a 4-game losing streak, the trade deadline was yesterday, and Green Bay desperately needed help at the wide receiver position, where they did nothing. No trades, no signings. The Packers seem like they're content with the 3-5 record and a tie for second in the NFC North with the Bears. Head coach Matt LaFleur says that as a team, they can definitely be better.
Everybody has a responsibility to one another to be their best, whatever that is. And you got to be locked in. And if you're worried about things that are outside of your control, I think you're doing everybody a disservice. So I think that's where the focus should lie and will lie.
LaFleur also discussed team morale and how everyone is feeling after the 4-game losing streak and trade deadline.
I don't think anybody's happy with where we're at. I know I'm certainly not, and I don't think anybody in that locker room is. But if we focus on things that are irrelevant, what good are we doing?
The Packers head over to Detroit for a game with the Lions on Sunday. We'll be right back after the break.
Child killers, murderers, rapists. Hundreds released early by Tony Evers' parole commission. And they're not even telling victims' families.
Governor Evers, everyone in Wisconsin is less safe because of you.
I see your hard work, everything you do to try to make it. But people continue to be left behind. I'm running for Senate to put more money in your pocket. Ron Johnson's had 12 years to make things better. But costs are still rising. And all he's managed to do is write a tax cut for himself. I believe better is possible. I believe hard work can pay off. And I'll never stop fighting until it does. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Creative Kitchen and Bath Studio has designed beautiful and functional kitchens and baths in the Northwoods. When helping plan your dream kitchen or bath with in-home consultation available, they provide 3D drawings of your spaces to bring your visions to life. Owner and designer Sarah has over 25 years of experience, overseen 500 plus projects, and built strong relationships with local contractors providing superior installation. Whether it's a new home or a remodel, Creative Kitchen and Bath Studio in Eagle River looks forward to making your dream kitchen or bath a reality.
Aren't you tired of the division, the anger? I know I sure am. Our country faces enormous challenges. I promise I'll do everything I can to help make things better, and I'll always tell you the truth. What continues to give me hope are the kind and decent people I meet all over Wisconsin. People who love America and are willing to work hard to unify and heal it. Please join us. I'm Ron Johnson. I approve this message, and I'm asking for your vote.
You didn't tell me the handsome doctor was coming.
Looks like the place was bombed.
The lieutenant governor requested you.
I'll be right there.
We left the OR before the surgery was finished.
Those windows were full of jewelry, potentially totaling millions.
This blast was intentional.
They're claiming their son's death was murder. Come out with it if you're telling me that the CPD is going to leave me out here to dry.
Child killers, murderers, rapists. Hundreds released early by Tony Evers' parole commission. And they're not even telling victims' families.
Governor Evers, everyone in Wisconsin is less safe because of you.
Bruce Orthodontics, changing lives one smile at a time. Rhinelander, Minocqua, Eagle River, Phillips, and the greater Northwoods area. Treating patients of all ages.
All right, if you were paying attention earlier, you saw Matt's story about these Uperlite rocks. Just an incredible guy you talked to. He's so passionate. So let's see it. Let's see it in action.
Well, yeah, so he told us we got to get a UV light, right?
Okay.
So we took the UV light, and you can see that little glow on the sides. There's some orangish yellow there, and it's pretty cool. It's fluorescent light thanks to this UV light. So it's a neat little.
That's interesting.
And there's 4 of us, one for each, but I'll take the biggest one.
I've never seen that before, so this is all new to me, but that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I mean, you can do it right up on the shores of Lake Superior.
Yeah, it's a cool, nice little present, but yeah, it was definitely beautiful weather outside today to go pick some rocks. Tomorrow, same story. 72 degrees earlier today. Not quite breaking the record, but very, very close to that. And our 7-day outlook does show another good-looking day tomorrow. So go out, pick your rocks if you'd like before more chances of showers arrive Friday into Saturday. And temperatures start to cool off into the 40s and 50s.
Sorry, Conrad, were you saying something? I was just looking at this rock the whole time.
The rocks are mesmerizing.
That's super cool.
Well, that's all the time we have. We'll see you back here at 10.
Mr. Food Test Kitchen is brought to you by Golden Carrot Jewelers and Creative Kitchen and Bath Studio.
As I travel around the country, 2 of my favorite things to do are meeting folks like you and visiting.